Hi there, it's Phil here. Today I'm going to talk to you again about dictating directly on the Mac. You can use Apple Mac's built-in dictation functionality to save you time if you're typing, if you can't type, if you're not very good at typing like I've become. I used to be a good typist, but now my fingers just seem to hit all the wrong keys. Using the dictation functionality saves you a lot of time. It will often produce a faster result than if you are typing with your normal fingers, and it will also help you if your spelling is not that brilliant these days. So Apple obviously will try to spell things correctly, and with the new macOS Tahoe version, powered by the M1 and the M series silicon chips, you'll probably find that the dictation is a lot more accurate and a lot faster than it used to be. I've done a video in the past showing the dictation functionality, but I wanted to go through it again just to give you an update and tell you a couple of things about what has been improved. So let's have a look at the settings that we get in the system. On the right hand side of the screen, I've got a window which shows how to upgrade to macOS Tahoe if you haven't already. Now, of course, down in one side of it, just down here, is the area that you can check to see whether your Mac is valid to be upgraded to macOS Tahoe. So you make sure you have a look at that. You can find the same page in your macOS help built into your Apple Mac. So all of the data regarding the valid computers is actually there. So I'll leave that on the screen anyway. The other window that we've got is actually the keyboard window in the system's settings. So you'll find the keyboard area just down here. So I've selected the keyboard functionality to show right there. So hopefully you'll be able to see that where I'm just circling it with the red. So the first thing I want to show you is in the dictation area, and we're looking really at this area here. So let me very quickly highlight that. So that's the dictation area. All of the rest of it is regarding just your normal keyboard input, but the dictation is really where we want to be having a look right now. So on my computer, I have the dictation and it's set to be on. That there is your little toggle to say whether you are turned on for dictation or not. Below that, you've got a languages area where you can select the languages that you want the text to be entered in. Now, I happen to be from the UK, hence my accent, but I live in Canada. So either one of those two work fine for me. So I tend to find that putting, for my accent and my voice, the UK setting works really well, and I more or less have no problems with Apple recognizing my dictated words. You can select your microphone source. So of course you have to have a microphone for this. Obviously, if you've got a laptop, microphones are built into the laptops anyway. Then the next really important thing is the shortcut that you will use to get the dictation system running. Now, the default here is FN, the FN button. Sorry, I'm doing the wrong thing. It's just here. So it says press FN. So if you've got a function key on your keyboard, I recommend that you can use that. I think it's a good one because you very rarely would press the function key twice for any other reason. There are other controls that you can program in, but you have to be maybe a little bit careful regarding the other shortcuts that you've got on your Mac. I have a lot of shortcuts on my Mac, so using the function key, pressing that twice to invoke the dictation functionality is really the thing I want to be able to do. And then we've got a brand new thing for macOS Tahoe, which is the auto punctuation setting. Now, we didn't have that in the past, And what this will do is it will try to input apostrophes where required and full stops. Now this, in my practice, is sometimes good, maybe not all the time, but remember that as you are dictating, one of the things you can do is you can tell it to put in a period or an apostrophe. You've also got new line and new paragraph are very commonly said as you dictate your text. The other thing is make sure you enunciate properly and then it will get the spellings right. And finally, before I actually give you a demonstration of this, if you have specialist words, let's say you work in an industry with special words which wouldn't be in the normal dictionary, you can add those words to, let's say, a special folder of your contacts. So essentially you make a contact using the word. We have a lot of specialist words with weird spellings in the industry I tend to work in. So adding those into the contacts list helps Apple find the right word when you say it. So just try that out anyway. That's a little tip. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to move on and open up a text edit window. So here's my text edit window, and I'm going to read out some of the words that were written on this. In fact, I can do that while you're looking at it so you can see how well it does. So let's have a go. So the other thing I'm going to do now is press the function key twice so you can both see and hear what goes on in the system. So I'm going to press function key twice now and just read out what's on the screen on the right and see how well we do here. So I'm pressing it now. macOS Tahoe 26 makes the Mac more capable, productive and intelligent than ever. Full stop. Introducing a stunning new design, more continuity experiences with the phone app and live activities, the biggest update to Spotlight ever, and expanded Apple Intelligence capabilities. Full stop. Now I've hit the function key just to stop that, and let's have a look and see how well it's actually done. So interestingly, it did not work out what I said when I said Mac OS Tahoe. It said make a West Tahoe, but it did spell Tahoe correctly and put in a 2 and a 6. Interestingly, if I had left the system running, so I'm going to just double click the FN button, OS, Mac OS, Mac OS, new paragraph. So you can see that the system runs a lot longer than it did previously, enabling you to continue with your dictation and also enabling you to double click and select a word perhaps that has been misspelt or miscommunicated. Full stop. Longer and longer. So you see there, I was able to highlight a word even though the dictation was still running and insert a correction. So if you are watching the screen, you obviously ought to be doing that anyway, having a look and making sure that it is spelling everything that you want to spell properly and typing everything that you want to type. And as I said, my recommendation is to tell it when to put in an apostrophe, when to put in a period or a full stop. You can say either of those words, it would actually do that for you, just to make sure that the punctuation is as you want it. So hopefully you kind of like that. Let me go back into some of the settings and I will just go into the system settings here. The auto punctuation here for me is turned on, but it's a little bit kind of questionable as to whether that's really that great or not. That was the text that we got. And you can type into any box. I mean, I happen to be using text edit, but you could type an email, you can write into almost any box on the Mac that will take text, and that includes your pages and numbers documents. You can type into a cell in numbers if you want to. So it's a really great tool that's available to you. Hopefully you have found that useful. If you've got any questions, leave those in the comments on this video, and I hope that you try it out. It's particularly good if you're working on your own in a quiet room, and it really will save you a lot of time in typing. Thanks for watching. If you want to see some more videos, just subscribe to my channel, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for now. Bye.